Hello there. In this video, we're going to build our checkout page for our project. So let's go. Okay, so looking at the wireframes for delivery, we've got the delivery method up here, we've got the expected delivery date, and then we've got the price. So let's just take a copy and let's simplify this a little bit more. So let's pop a copy inside of this element here. Let's rename that container for the moment. Okay, let's rename this to content, and let's just steal one of these up here. Let's steal a radio button for a moment. Let's just see, let's put it here, move it across. Let's just delete that out for the moment. Okay, what I'm going to do is update the text here on the right hand side to use the typography variables. So I'll be right back. Okay, that's done. The content is set to align center and push these two items out. Let's just adjust this here. So let's add some spacing variables here just for now. So let's change it to 16 on the padding. And let's just apply some spacing variables here as well. Okay, so I think that's probably a good layout to use. Let me just duplicate this. Let's do it 3 times. So that's what we've got over here. What I'm going to do is just update the pricing, the name of the delivery, and kind of when it's going to be available, so when you will get your delivery. So I'll just update that text and I'll be right back. Okay, I've updated that text. I've also made the text on the left hand side here semi-bold. I've made the price in bold, and this is in regular, so we've got some hierarchy going on as well. Probably want to go in and just adjust the radio button. So yeah, I'll leave the first one as enabled. I'm just going to turn off these ones here. Okay, there we go. So then you can toggle between each one. Thinking about it in a bit more detail, I'll probably bump the standard delivery to be the default because it seems a bit of a dark pattern to enable the most expensive option on the page. So let me just turn that off. So we've got standard delivery, delivered between 3 to 5 business days, $3.99. Express delivery between 1 to 2 business days, that's $6.99. And then next day delivery, guaranteed delivery by the end of the next day, $9.99. I think that makes sense, and that's probably a better order to stack them in. Okay, I think that's all we need for the delivery section. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's duplicate this. Press Command D. I'm going to hold Shift and drag it down. There we go. And let's do the payment information. Okay, let's just remove what we don't need. Let's just take a copy of this, drag it onto here. I think from memory that top row was going to be a select, so that's fine. And then we've got the other fields for the card details, then the checkbox, then the pay button. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let me just copy a few of these fields. Might as well just copy all of these and remove what I don't need. Click on here, let's paste them in. We just move this down a tiny bit more. So we've got, let's see, we're going to need a select. Let's move that up. Let's delete out this one. Let's set the select to fill. Okay, let's rename that to card type. Okay, the next container, let me delete out last name. Let's change that to card holder. Let me just duplicate this and let's just use the card number here. I think things will get a bit too tight if you put 3 in one container. So we've got the card number, and now let me delete out this one and this one, brings that up, and then we've got space for expiry. There we go, and CVC. Okay, so I think that's everything we need here. So let's look card type, card holder, card number, expiry, CVC. Okay, while I'm here, let me update the placeholder information for each section. So I'll be right back. Okay, those placeholders are up to date. So we've got select card type, name on card, an example of the card number, expiry date, format, CVC. Let's just duplicate this bottom one because I need another container. So let me do that. Let's delete out these text fields. Let's go in here. I need a checkbox. Let's grab this. And what I'm going to need is, I'm just going to need some text. So let me go up here, take a copy of this, paste it inside this container. Let's just make sure the container has got the right variables. So let's do 16 between, actually let's do 8 between, so it's a little bit tighter. Let's center that auto layout. Okay, let's update this text. Okay, there we go. So we've got the save my card details at the bottom. That's all of the details that we need here in the payment information. It has got a button here, but I've kind of changed my mind here. So if I delete that out, when we go to the wireframe, you've got two primary call to actions. So I'm just going to leave it with one, and that one primary call to action will be in the basket area here, where you've got all your products and your totals and your discounts. So we've got space here on the page for that panel to smooth scroll down the page. So I'm happy with just leaving the pay now in the basket area for now. Okay, that's the payment information section done. Okay, let's now move on to designing the basket. Okay, so zooming out a little bit, I can see a bit of an issue here with the spacing. So let me just click in here and turn on the grids again. Let's go ahead and pull these containers out so they snap right to the edge here. Okay, that should be good. I think this one already does it. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, that tightens up that spacing a little bit more. Okay, let's just turn off, there we go, turn off the grid. Okay, so we're on to our basket. Let's just grab a copy of this, option, click and drag, just kind of drop it there just beneath, just so I can use for reference. So we've got a heading, and then we've got our items in the basket. So let's start by adding a heading. So to begin with, I might even, let me just move that just here for a moment. I might just let me delete that, take one of these, option, click and drag, and let's just pop it here, and let's just rescale this. And what I'll do is, let me just turn the grid on actually, that would be useful. Okay, that's in there. Let me just turn that grid off again. Okay, so we don't need any of these items here, let's just delete these out. Okay, and let me just change this heading here to 2 items. Okay, to start with, let me just Command C and then click in here and Command V, and let's just move this out of the way. Let's delete that. Okay, let's start off with the item in the basket. So let's just pull this in a tiny bit. Okay, to start with, I'm just going to add some real content instead of just lorem ipsum here. So I'll be 1 second. Okay, welcome back. So as you can see, we've updated the item here in the basket. So everyday creator backpack, £69, and then a little bit of the description here, and then we've got the remove button, the image over here, and then we've got the quantity buttons here to increase or decrease your basket. Okay, so what we'll do next is we added 2 icons for the plus and minus for the basket. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add an icon slot inside the button. Okay, so we're on the buttons page. Let me just grab an icon slot. Here we go. Let's go up to file. I'm just going to copy this, and this is the large size. Okay, so now I've got the icon slot on my clipboard. Let me click on the button. Let's multi-select all the buttons, and let's go ahead and press Command V. That's going to then paste in the icon slot, but it's going to paste in a large icon slot. Now let's go ahead and go to Appearance. And let's click on Apply Variable or Property. Let's click on the plus, and let's add suffix icon for now. And we're going to do the value of false, and let's create that property. So by default, it's not going to show. What I need to do now is go through all of the small buttons, and I need to go ahead and just change the icon slot size to small. So let me quickly do that now, and I'll speed up this part of the video. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully that's now done. Let's go into assets, let's go to buttons, and let's just grab an example. Let's just draw a frame around it. Okay, so we now have the button. As you can see in the panel, we've got suffix icon just here that you can toggle on or off. Let's just check all the different sizes. That seems to be okay. And I'm guessing if I toggle between the different states and the different styles, that should also work. Okay, so let's click on delete, let's remove that. Let's go into libraries, let's click on publish, and let's add some notes. Okay, let's click on publish. Okay, and there we go, our button component is now up to date. Let's go back into our designs. Okay, let's go to libraries, let's click on update, and let's update all. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reset this instance, and let's go, so we're in a small button, let's add the suffix icon, let's go in here, and let's just add the plus. Okay, that's great. Let's just turn off that label, the button label. Okay, there we go. So this is going to use all our button states that we've already configured, and we can use it for increasing or decreasing the quantity in the basket. Okay, so looking at the button again, I do think it is a little bit big to sit in this basket area, because when you compare it to what I've wireframed out originally, they are a little bit smaller. So what I want to do is allow this button, this small button, to use a smaller suffix icon. So I'm just going to go back and I'm going to show you what I've done. So in the style guide, I've gone into the icon slots that we created originally. Now, when I clicked on these a moment ago, they didn't have auto layouts on them. So I've now applied auto layouts to each of these sizes, and that's now set in the panel. And actually, while I'm here, what I'm going to do is quickly apply some spacing variables. Okay, good. So that's done. So what I'm going to do now is in this file, I'm going to publish and just make some notes. Okay, so just click on publish. Okay, so those changes are now published in the style guide. Let's go back into the UI kit. Let's go up here. Let's just accept those changes to the icon slot. So that's done. Okay, so one refinement I want to make to the button that I think would be useful and make my life a bit easier is, instead of, let me just grab a button. So we can grab a button here, we can toggle on the suffix icon on and off, but I can't get access to the icon slot at this level. So if I go in here and click on the component, click on the plus, go to nested instances, tick icon slot. Now I'm going to close that. Now if I go back to my button, when the suffix icon is on, I get this extra drop down for icon slot. And now, hopefully, we can toggle between the different sizes. So there's large, which is too big, medium's too big, small is fine for the small button, but I want to go extra small, and there we go. Okay, so now we've made those changes. Let's go up to libraries, let's go publish, and let's add some notes. Okay, let's click on publish. Okay, great, so those button changes are now done in the UI kit. Let's go back to our designs, let's go into libraries, let's accept the new changes. Right, so let's go in here and let's have a look. Let's just reset the instance, just so we're starting from fresh. So we have a small button. I don't want to show any text, so I'm going to press Command. So I'm going to press Command Shift H and hide that. I am, however, going to show the suffix icon, and I don't want to use the small size. I want to use the extra small, and there you can see it's just made it that little bit smaller. I'm going to hit enter, I'm going to hit enter again, and now we're going to do plus. There we go, and let me just duplicate this again, and let's just press enter, enter again. Let's do minus. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to go into the style guide. I wonder if I have accidentally added, yeah, I think I've accidentally added two of the same icons. So let me just delete that one out. We already have the plus, which is there. Let's move that down a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Let's just lock that there. Click on publish. Let me just add some notes. Okay, great. So that duplicate's now been removed. Okay, let's start by adding these two buttons, and I suppose it's best to copy them. Let's go inside the actions row and the quantity container. That's what it's marked as. Let's paste those in. Let's delete out the old ones, so don't need those. Get rid of that. Let's just move the minus over here. We just delete these. Okay, so for the icon quantity, let's give it let's give it an auto layout. Let's press Shift A. Let's set the height to fill. Let's do the width as hug. Okay, I might actually just give this, let's see, 8 pixels for now. Might need to give it a little bit more than that. Just do it to 16 for the moment, just because you're probably going to be able to click into that area and adjust the quantity. Let's do that for now. For the moment, I'm not making this a component, so we'll leave it as a custom field, but we've got the buttons here that are components. Let's go ahead and make sure we're using the right color. So I think we're using, let's see, neutral 6 here. Let's do the same here. Neutral 600. Let's just make sure we're using everything correctly here. Okay, so the stroke is not using the right color here, so let's just hold shift, click. That should be using neutral 5. Okay, so hopefully everything is behaving there. Right, let me just have a look at the original. Okay, so we've got the heading, the price, some text, the buttons, the remove action. Let's move on to the image.
Okay, that's it for this part of the video. The next part will be next week. So like and subscribe, all of those things, and I will see you in the next video.